Welcome back to Drone Novice. Today we're going to look at how to set up Betaflight with our quadcopter, which is the main software that controls how our quad will fly. First, we can download Betaflight from the GitHub that's on. So you just simply search up Betaflight download and you can download the most up-to-date software. Currently it's 10.6.0 as you can see in the top left corner. If you have a Mac, you don't need to install anything else in order to set up Betaflight. But if you have a Windows computer, you'll have to download the Impulse RC driver fixer, which is a tool that all Windows computers need in order to run Betaflight. So first, we can connect our drone to the computer via a USB to a micro USB cable. And when you do this, you have to make sure that it's a data cable and not just a power cable. Otherwise, it'll just like power the quad, but it won't be able to send signals to it from the computer. So you should plug it in to the micro USB port on the flight controller. And when you plug it in, you should see like a red and blue light on the flight controller. So once we connected it, you can see up in the here it says like it should say something similar to this, probably not the exact same, but you can press connect, and once it is quad horizontally, and if you want, you can calibrate the accelerometer if it seems like it's just like wobbling around, even though the quad is actually steady. Um, but right now it seems to be fine, and you could just test it around by moving the quad in different directions to see if all the channels are like working in all the directions. And you should be good as long as your flight controller is not smoking or anything like that, because then you know there's no short circuit. So now what we have to do is bind our transmitter to our drone, and then we can set up the different flight modes and set it up our controllers. So in order to bind our drone to our transmitter, first it has to be plugged into the battery. So we'll do that right now. And you can hear the two beeps that says it has been bound, and you can see that over here we have a battery connected. So once we do that and it's bound, we can go to the configuration. Actually, first we'll go to the ports tab. Yours should look like this, with the UR1 having the serial RX, because that's where we connected our receiver. And then next we go to the configuration tab. Make sure all of these things are sort of similar to what I have here. Like you have your accelerometer on, which is probably the most important part, and then most different kilohertz frequencies should work for the configuration here, and these all should be default, and these should be both off, and D-Shot 600 or like any of basically a D-Shot 300 and up should be fine for this. And it doesn't matter what really extra features you have. OSD is pretty important, so sometimes it's really necessary to know your like battery health right now, like currently, and things like that. But your beeper configuration is not that important. It's just there to know like different things that are occurring currently. So here you have the power and battery port tab, and you can see the maximum should be 4.3 because that's 4.2 is usually the maximum on most batteries, but 4.3 is just to be safe. And 3.7 is like a 3.5 to 3.7 is like a healthy battery health, and 3.3 is like when it's too low. And usually when you're flying, and it's like 3.3, in reality it'll be around 3.5 because while you're flying, it's draining a lot of the battery at the same time. So once you like turn off all the motors, then the voltage will spike back up. The PID tuning tab is not that important. The default configuration should be good enough for most beginners. But if you like have a really specific profile that you like, or like a friend has recommended to you, then you can go for it and adjust it over here. Now it's the receiver tab. So first you have to once your drone is connected to your transmitter, you should make sure that see I'm turning the throttle on like up and down, which is like on the left ring is it's what I'm adjusting, and you should see the throttle change. For example, if I were to like change the channel map to like AETR, then instead of the throttle changing, it will be the roll changing. So just make sure that like those are all adjusted. See, like my yaw is working perfectly fine. And there's also like a preview here, which gives you a good sense of what would happen in real life. And you can see the pitch and the roll. So once those all get working, you want to set up your switches, and you can do that pretty easily in the transmitter by just going to the switch tab on which should be in the inputs, which is at like page 5 out of 12. And you can go down to 5 and 6 in the inputs and add those. I'm just adding two switches, one for arming the quad, and arming the quad is just basically having like the startup like um, propellers just spinning, so that you don't accidentally start flying by just flicking the one of the switches. And the other switch is for my different flight modes. I'm going to only use two flight modes, which is acro and I forgot. Let me check. Um, acro and angle. But you could add like different flight modes. But once you turn on your inputs, you should go to the next page, which is the channel mixer, and you go down to channel 5 and 6, and you should adjust those. And once you do that, you should be able to see like when I turn on my arming switch, you could see auxiliary 1 changing from 1,000 to 2,000 roughly. And if I change my auxiliary 2 switch, you could see it changing from 1,000 to 1,500 to 2,000. And there's three different modes for like that switch because it's on the left corner of your transmitter. And once you go to modes, so if you pretend this isn't here, you can add a range for arming, and you set it to auto. That way you can once it'll automatically go to auxiliary 1 once you tap the switch that you want it to correspond to. And you could set the range. So if say I want the range to like what it is currently, I want that to be armed, and like when I flick it, I want it to be not armed, right? So here you can see this is where the switch is currently, and you can see that currently it's not armed, but when I do this, it's armed. But or you could do the other way around, like because usually the up position is when the switch is armed. So you could do the same thing. By default, all drones are in acro mode, so you want uh, angle mode to be like a separate thing. So here I set it to auxiliary 2, um, and like at the default position, which is the top position, it's at around 1,000, and that would be when it's in acro mode. But when I want to go into angle mode, if I'm just cruising or something, I can just flick the switch and it'll go to 1,500, and it'll be in angle mode. You could also add horizon mode and fail safes and things like that, but we're not going to do that right now. And see, there's a lot of different things you can do, like acro trainer mode, VTX pit mode, which is useful if you're racing. And now we're gonna set up the motors. When you're doing this, and when you're doing all like setups and edits in general, always have your propellers off at all times because it can cause a lot of nasty injuries to occur. And once you've taken your propellers off, you click this, and then you could test each of your motors separately or all at once with the master. So I could just check. You guys can't see it, but the motor is spinning, and the LED gets brighter as it spins for each of. I'm gonna just test all of these four. and the master. After you're done with that, just unclick this, and the OSD tab is not very, it's important, but it's not necessary to fly. But if you want something like a low voltage um, indicator to appear, you could just change that here, and like you could add your drone name, your craft name over here. You could add crosshairs for like the front and a bunch of things. I would recommend against like adding like a ton of things, maybe only a few elements to your OSD, because otherwise it'll get a little cluttered, and you could just like add your like battery voltage in like someplace that you won't get distracted from flying, since your flying is like the most important part, and you like if you crash it's really bad. So you could add at different places, and you can change like the position, and you could save, and then you're done with basically with the OSD. LED strip, we don't have an LED strip, so right now this isn't important. Black box, um, all I think most flight controllers, modern flight controllers, standard have about 16 megabytes of storage on black box, and you can see I've used 98 kilobytes. I don't know where that's from, but it's not really that important unless you're doing some debugging and like want to do some pid tuning if it starts shaking mid-flight, things like that. But yeah, for now we don't need to deal with it. CLI, this is where you sort of have like a direct command line interface. I think that's what it stands for, with the drone. So like if you just know different commands like um, I don't know, like arm and stuff like that, you could do that directly by like typing it up. But usually we don't really deal with that, especially for beginners. And so overall, that I think that's it. Um, Thanks for tuning into this video. We hope to see you next time, and have fun flying.